what's up guys, down here now. There's a new Pokemon Sword and Shield competition that was recently announced, and it's called the Champion League. I'm actually going to talk about it. I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting pool of Pokemon that is usable too, because you can actually use Pokemon that are only used by previous region champions in the Pokemon games. So here's the picture. Here's a graphic made by Kurtupo of the Battle Stadium Discord. Shoutouts to them, but pretty cool because it's a pretty like interesting pool of like size where it can like have a mini metagame. So there's like a lot of Pokemon, and there's also like I think Gardevoir is allowed, and same with Dragonite, but they're not on here. But yeah, so the first thing I wanted to do was identify the offensive and defensive threats and be able to check, like be able to make counters and checks, right? So there's really like strong Pokemon, like the Gen 8 starters are really strong, and there's pretty like strong Airstream sweepers like Togekiss, you got Cinderace, you got these like Gyarados and Charizard, you got Salamence, you know. So those definitely need demand checks or counters, because they will just steamroll their way through teams if you don't do anything about them. And now I made like a rough draft team because I wanted to just test my thoughts on this and see what I can do, because the competition doesn't start until the 22nd, so I have a little bit of time to prepare now. What I wanted to do, because the reason why here's my team, right? We have Arcanine, Gastrodon, Jolteon, Aerodactyl, Escavalier, and Goodra. Now I'm running Arcanine because obviously it checks like these two really well, and I know these two are gonna be like top metagame threats because they're very strong. They have like very few drawbacks. They can just click buttons, and I don't want them to click buttons. Now Arcanine can also check like some other mods, but it's mainly like really good. Like it's really good because Intimidate plus Will-O-Wisp and all that, and the fire typing is also really nice. And it can also threaten like other steel bonds like Skarmory and Metagross pretty well, which is also nice, and Aegislash. So yeah. And then Gastrodon is really good because compared to other bulky Marauders, Gastrodon has a upper edge in terms of like against setup bonds because of Clear Smog. Because there's a lot of setup bonds like Dragonite, like Salamence, Dragonite, you know, a lot of threats. Even Airstreams, like it can Clear Smog away some Airstream boosts in order to like get one of my revenge killers out safely and just outspeed them potentially. And Ice Beam's really good against all the dragon types that are in allowed, as you can see. You know, Garchomp, Hydreigon, Salamence, and Dragonite, and Dragapult. And yeah, Jolteon, I'm running Scarf Jolteon because I actually want to be able to revenge kill plus Airstreamers that get +1 speed. Let's say they kill one of my Pokemons with Airstream, they get a +1 Airstream boost, and then they're fast, but Jolteon can still outspeed them and revenge kill based on what their health is, obviously. And so yeah, Volt Switch really good. Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is really good against Dragapult melee. It's also pretty good coverage against like, or you can just predict like ground types coming out, like Seismitoad. You got a multitude of options in terms of that. So yeah, to use Shadow Ball in my opinion. So yeah, and then you got Thunder Wave, because like let's say I'm going up against like a weakness policy Togekiss or something, I can click Thunder Wave and cripple it without activating its weakness policy with like a Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. Like let's say I'm leading off turn 1, I can't obviously kill a Dynamax Togekiss with the Thunderbolt, so I think it can potentially work out. And yeah. And it's also because Jolteon doesn't really have that many other coverage moves that are useful in my opinion. So yeah. Now you might think Aerodactyl sucks, which it kind of does, but they got buffed in Gen 8 because it got Dragon Dance, and I'm running Focus Sash because it can potentially serve as a good check to other Dynamax sweepers, because it's good it has a rock typing, which is really good against like all the Airstreamers and stuff. And then it can also Airstream by like on its own too, so it can potentially keep up in speed with the threats that are there. And then I'm running Aqua Tail because it's really good coverage against like bulky rocks like Rhyperior and Tyranitar and stuff. So yeah, and then I'm running a Chevalier because they're really good. I mean, Assault Vest can be a good check to a lot of like special mons. The only problem is that they have like a fire coverage, but I think Assault Vest could potentially make the Escavalier take the fire move because, like, as you can see, Escavalier has a really big like bulk, so like really a lot of bulk. I mean, because you got 70 HP, you got 105 defense. That's a lot of like special bulk, especially with like the Assault Vest. So yeah, and then it can also like hit really hard. Like, in my opinion, it's good for like an ideal Pokemon for me is like one that can not only take hits but can also like fire back really, like it has an offensive presence pretty much, because I don't want to have like a wall that just sits there and does nothing, and I also don't want to have like a fast mon that doesn't take hit, like can't take hits without any team support, right? So yeah, that's pretty much the mindset I have when building teams in general. And yeah, and then Gudra's, I just put Gudra on, just like I don't think I'm actually gonna use it because like I feel like it gets power crept too much by like the metagame, like, but it can still check like Sun like really well because you have like potential Sun cores with Ninetales or Charizard and then Venusaur. But there's also, yeah, that's pretty much the mindset because you can also run like Cinderace on some teams, which can destroy Gudra, but that was just like a default, like, okay, I think I might use Gudra, but I don't know if I actually will. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Pretty interesting metagame, and I'm excited to see how it goes in terms of the competition and what people actually end up using, because yeah, it's definitely gonna be pretty wild. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.